Hey, welcome back for another episode of Something for the Culture. I am your host, Jazzy J, and we got my co-host from time to time, Mr. Knowledge Born from Do the Knowledge Radio. Welcome back, bro.
Glad to be here for something for the culture. This about to be a great one.
So tonight we got another special guest in the house. We got 144 Records slash Humag distribution artist, E Supreme. Welcome to the culture.
Thank you. Peace, peace, everybody. Four is up. You already know.
What's up?
144 of the fours is up in the building. Okay.
Okay. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Go ahead and let the people know who are not familiar with you or your body of work who you are.
Well, of course, I am E Supreme. I've been doing this since 1994. I started early with my music career. I have several projects that can be found all over the place. You can find them, some in Bandcamp, some SoundCloud, some CDs. Still have those. But a lot of projects in the works. I started off as an actual battle rapper, but before that, I started writing poetry. So I got into it by writing poetry because one of my favorite poets was Phyllis Wheatley, and of course, that style of poetry wasn't in rhyme form. It didn't necessarily have to rhyme, so I had to listen to Rakim to teach myself how to rhyme.
Dope. So can you tell us how you got started off with coming into what I like to call is the culture, the rap culture? Who are your influences?
Well, I would say first I would have to say my mother because beforehand when I was a child, of course, growing up in the '80s, it was a lot of rock and roll music being played, and I was into the punk rock scene. So my mother, of course, she didn't like the style of music that I was listening to, so she put actually the 18th, not the 18th letter. Let me correct myself. Follow the Leader was a record that she had, and another record she put into my hands was It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. So those were some of my biggest influences in how I wanted to actually evolve from the music that I was listening to actually becoming a part of the music that I was listening to, as far as hip hop is concerned. Another one of my inspirations, of course, was the Fat Boys. Um, so they were really big. Like one of my favorite movies of all times is The Disorderlies. That was played heavy in the house. Curtis Blow was another one of my influences. And then later on in life, of course, you get into the Wu Tangs and the Mob Deeps. Uh, they played heavy on my style as far as even now. So, I think another one of my big influences was Guru from Gangstar. And then I think one of my favorite albums of all times would definitely be Daily Operation. That was it.
Dope. Born, you had a question?
I had a comment before the question. Normally, we come from a culture of sneaking to listen to hip hop.
Yes.
We had to sneak the tapes. We had to smuggle the tapes in. Rap
Definitely.
wasn't available, where we from on a constant basis like it is now. And when we started to witness it, so our inception was kind of based off of who we were around. We were sharing tapes with people. We was making our own tapes, whether it was our own little tape or the pause tape, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
But you had a miracle type of experience. Our parents did not like our music until they started to infuse some of the other aspects, some of the Isleys or some of the things that caught their ear. Our ear was eerie for them to hear.
Right.
My group came home with not just any rap record or hip hop artist. Mom Duke came home was like, yo, I don't want to hear that punk rock. Here go the God MC Eric B and Rakim followed the leader and then followed it up with Public Enemy. You understand what I'm saying? So I need some unpacking here, okay? And this unpacking impact in the space of you deciding to, pursue rhyming in the pinnacle of hip hop at the same time, 94, 30 years ago, Ready to Die, Illmatic, everything
Right.
that made everybody, Tikal, everything that made everybody with the R&B hip hop marriage that took place that was spawned into the space. Like, I need to know some details. Like, what was that transition like going from the punk rock type situation to fully immersed, like head first into Eric B and Rakim, and then chart me the course to 94. So between 88 and 94, it's like a 6-year time span, but it's a whole life.
Right.
I need to know some details. You can't just slide in and say, my for me, Eric B and Rakim and Public Enemy and Shazam, I'm here with y'all right now. Like, I need some details. I need some details that lead up to 94, and then 94 forward. What did it look like for you?
So we'll go with
Right.
19. We'll go with in 1994. Of course, this was when they started putting the parental advisory stickers was coming heavy on the albums and stuff like that. So when my mother gave me the Public Enemy and the Rakim albums, it was a little resistance there because again I was still into the punk rock. That's what I wanted to listen to. So in 1991, let's fast forward a little bit. In 1991, I was listening to this band called Nirvana. And then in 94, they had a song that my mother, she heard me singing. So she took all my cassette tapes, like she took them all. It was a song called, I hate to say it, it was a song called Army. I'm just gonna say Army. I'm not gonna say the rest of the name of the song. But she heard it and she didn't like the lyrics. So she was like, oh no, you're going back to the drawing board. So she took all my tapes, put them on a refrigerator, hid them in the cabinets in the kitchen where I couldn't get to them. And she gave me an album called Black Rain, Queen Latifah's album. And the only thing that I could
okay. Mother's Day, you better find something fly to give my Duke. Like, give her a pyramid, buy a star in the sky. I can't get, pardon me, I ain't mean to cut him, but my Duke was like, give me this shit.
He took all that from me.
Take this.
And then
we had to beg my Duke, like, please, can I get the Fat Boy CD? I'm saying, like, can I get the Fat Boy? Can I get this Curtis Blow? Run DMC, it's Run DMC, man. They're not really cussing. They said,
right, your mom just out here just willingly giving it out.
Yeah, y'all remember back in the day they had the Maxwell House joints for you in the Columbia House. You could get like 12 for a penny type situation.
Uh-huh.
So, I still owe them $10, I promise.
Okay.
So yeah, my mom was like, yo, you can get anything you want on here, but it gotta be in the rap section. And she regulated it. Like the first thing she got me was Queen Latifah. She got that Black Rain album, and I had to listen to that and study it front to back. Now when I tried to pick my own hip hop, I tried to jump into NWA and 2 Live Crew. Back in the day, they had like on one side it was NWA, and then on the other side it was 2 Live Crew. So when she heard that, she took that as well. So that's where the Public Enemies come in, and the Rakims and the DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, all those records. And they still resonate with me till this day. But if it wasn't for that, I don't know if I would be where I am now. So I give Mom Dukes all the credit.
So you went from Nirvana to like NW, like fuck it. Let me just go all the way in the deep end. Like I'm over here, feels like Teen Spirit to motherfucking fuck the police. Like I'm like, damn, my dad had to be like, chill. I want you to listen to this, but chill. Like not that. We ain't too loud. We the cock, it's like it's your birthday. It's your birthday. He's like, oh hell no, no, it's not. It's your birthday, but it's not your birthday. Like this. Let's pull it.
Right.
me have a seat. Okay, listen to Queen Latifah. Let's deal with the Black Ray. Let's deal with somebody. Yeah, I love that. I love that kind of involvement because
Yeah,
it shows how one space to another in regards to how things get passed down, how things become your inheritance. And now you can show how you covered hip hop versus how you was exposed to it because that matters. You see what I'm saying? It matters. It's not just music. It was the
right.
devoid of music, devoid of musical instruments in our school system that made us creative enough to be able to take what we were doing, which was illegal many of the times. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
To
Right.
just congregate together. That's a loitering charge. You spray painting, that's another charge. To be in possession of spray painting paraphernalia, that's another thing. Doodling on the books in the class, like that's another. Like there's things there's criminality that's associated with this music genre that we love
Right.
and support. So now we're looking at it and it's like, all right, it's it's a variant. So I just wanted to add that in real quick. But
Yeah, I remember, and I wanted to say this too. Like, I remember the first CD that my mother let me actually physically go to the store and buy, and I had to have her permission to get it, was actually Tupac's "Me Against the World." She screamed it. She listened to it. She said, "Yeah, this is good music. You can listen to that." And anytime she caught me slipping, trying to throw on MTV and listen to the Headbangers Ball or whatever it was, she was like, "You know what? Now you got to sit down and read. You got to read the encyclopedia. You got to read." My mom had the whole set A to Z.
ooh,
So anytime she caught me listening to something I wasn't supposed to listen to, she said, "You got to read this as a punishment." So I started learning. I said, "You know what? Hip hop is going to be my life."
yeah, that is deep. I just wanted to can I ask another question real quick, Jazz, in the interim since we right here in this interim space.
Hmm.
Me against the world. You there now. So describe what it was like for you to transition from that space because poetry initially caught your ears. So rap is rhythm and poetry. Now what does it look like for you writing? You're writing your own. Like you have all of these influences. Because the punk rock doesn't go away. It
No.
goes to a place where it's affected later on. So the using and the utilization of sound and sampling and all these other things and just your ear palette. So your mother was giving you some foundation so you wasn't just all over the place, but it comes into play later when you manipulate the sound. You see what I'm saying? You have
Right.
a crazy musical ear. I already know you got a crazy musical ear. If you can reconcile both of these things and not go crazy, you got a crazy musical ear. So your palette is extensive and it's experimental, just like hip hop was and is.
Yeah.
It's not one way. It's not monolithic. It's different ways of expression because we all diverse. So what did it look like for you writing then? What were you writing about then versus throughout your hip hop career? It's a span. It's 30 years.
Well, of course, I was still sneaking listening to Easy E. So I was still trying to. When I started rapping with actually a cousin of mine, and we would go around school and we would imitate what we heard Easy E and Ice Cube say. So we would take bits and pieces of that. Then I would try and throw in bits and pieces of what I heard from Rakim, bits and pieces of what I heard from the Fresh Prince, and then I would just put it all together. And then I would go to school, and being that young when you in school, they gassing you up because you doing something they not doing. So I'm really thinking I'm hot. It wasn't until we actually went to Jersey, and my cousin's pop was like, "Nah, that ain't it." Yo, like that ain't it. Go
Uh,
back to the drawing board. Don't come back up here until y'all got something that we can actually talk about. And that's when I got introduced to, because I got introduced to them late, like Criss Cross, things of that nature. So, ABC. It was like, yo, go back to the drawing board, listen to this. This is what you supposed to sound like. You too young to be talking about how to survive in the ghetto. You know what I mean? Stealing cars. Like we ain't know what we was talking about. We was just imitating what we heard. And then later on, I started learning how to formulate my rhyme patterns. I was listening to Liquid Swords. Liquid Swords is what I actually would say actually influenced me the most when it comes to writing, because I was listening to a song called Labels. And when I was listening to Labels, I was so fascinated by how the genius actually flipped every label in the song.
I'm
So I
here,
was
my
like, okay, if he
motherfucking
did that,
boy. When you make moves on it, you would floor. Will it
right?
work off the
Yeah,
set?
come on now.
That man, I show living large niggas how to flip a Def Jam.
Def
Okay.
Jam, exactly. When I heard that, that's when I wrote a rhyme where I was talking about every cartoon. Like I was just like linking every cartoon together, and then from there, my originality just started coming in. I was no longer using Eazy-E, Ice Cube as references. You know what I mean? So I started formulating my own identity off of that. So that was 95.
I want to know, what do you feel is what was your most challenging track to write?
Ooh. Anything that was personal. I say I did a track um called Never Die. Actually, my father had passed. I did a song called Never Never Die. And that song was actually the most challenging for me to write because of course I was dealing with watching my father pass away. He actually died in front of me. So putting that into the song and just expressing my pain through that and trying to get over that, because I even had PTSD from it. So just seeing that. So it was like, putting that into that song is very powerful and holds a place in my heart. But it was very difficult to write and get through at that point in time in my life.
How did you know that this was your career choice? How did you know that this is what I want to do with the rest of my life, is make music?
I actually come from a strong musical family. My uncle was in the drum and bugle corps. He also was a band director for a high school. My aunt, she played the clarinet. My mother also had me in band. I played the trumpet. I played the saxophone. I can play the guitar. So music was just something that was something that was just with me, period. It was embedded in me. And I knew that I wanted to do something with it, especially scratching my father's records up. Because my father would have records like the Isley Brothers, Isaac Hayes to be continued, things of that nature. And I would go sneak into his room, get on his little stereo system, start scratching the records like I was a DJ. And from that point on, I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be involved with music somehow, some way.
Cool. Knowledge, you had another question?
Of course. So now I want to hear about this battle rap scene. I'm hearing this Philly accent. You from Philly?
No, I'm from Wilmington, Delaware.
From Wilmington. Okay, even worse. Okay, so you got a different kind of hunger. You got a different kind of hunger. There's untapped space in regards to Philly and Wilmington. Folks don't know nothing about. There's some ill collaborations and some iller battles. So
Facts.
that other end of Jersey, Delaware, Philly, that's crazy battlegrounds at the time where people are trying to develop their sound. So you're developing your sound and you're there with a multitude of experimental type of situations going on. I want to know the battle rap journey and then how you transition from the battle rap gift slash curse to an artist that can make music, that can make songs. I need to know the background because
No
it
doubt.
kind of fits in the current narrative of what's happening and what we're hearing and what people have a craze going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because an MC used to have to battle. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? And you in the
Right.
cave with bullies and gorillas and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, right?
Okay.
So you had to be able to distinguish yourself in order to keep your rep. Because if you wanted to do something, if you was dancing, if you was beatboxing, if you was tagging up, whatever it was, you had to be the illest. So anybody who got any notoriety that lasted longer than a day or a month or a year, that kept with it, had to be something ill. So that process right there is something. But then they tapered off later in the 90s with the subculture as a battle rapper. You see what I'm saying? So a battle rap became a subculture. It's not just what an MC had to be able to do. It became a subculture all to its own. So now the MCs that are doing diss songs and diss tracks, I'm looking at them like, wasn't y'all dissing these battle rap dudes and girls? Like, wasn't y'all making fun of them? Like, that's just all they talking about. Now you're trying to do it, and now you're trying to sound like them. And then some of them done ventured into that battle rap, scene and got their ass destroyed.
Facts.
So they're like, oh, they can battle rap, but then they can't make songs. So when it's time to make songs, the battle rappers, some of them were struggling with making songs. So there's a myriad of space. I want to know what's happening in regards to this whole thing right here for you, as far as you being the artist making that trek into battle rap and into making songs. Perfect example.
Well, with the battle rap, I actually got pulled into that by a lot of cats in the neighborhood. Once they found out that I could rhyme, being as young as I was, they would actually come and get me and take me up and down the city and just be like, yo, go get them and put the bread down. Now, mind you, I'm not making nothing from it, but that's how I started. It was like I would just they would be like, come and this cat thinks he can rhyme. You need to spit, show him, get him. You know what I mean? And then we would do that. Now, with my ear for music, as far as, being eclectic, listening to different types, going from punk rock to, the hip hop to the 70s soul, the 60s Motown, I was already formulating how to write songs. And coming from poetry background, you have to have something to talk about. You have to start with a topic. So that was easy for me to transition to. Plus, battle rap back in the day was a little bit different from the way that it is now. A lot of times it would start off as just a cipher. You would just be on the corner just spitting your rhymes with a group. Might be a group of 6, might be a group of 12. Whoever just come in, join, hear you spit. Somebody would throw on instrumentals. You know what I mean? You would rap to beats. So just listening to the songs, the beats that you were rapping over, the instrumentals or whatever, it would have me thinking about the songs, the actual instrumental that I was rhyming over. So then I would go back and I would take that instrumental or get a copy of that instrumental and then go try to write to it. So that was easy. And then when I finally got into the studio, when I did my first studio recording, the guy there, he was like, listen, you gotta leave them battle raps alone. You gotta have something to talk about. We need a concept. So that's what actually got me into writing and talking about some stuff.
So you said coming from a poetry background, give me your 3 top favorite poets.
Number 1 is definitely Phillis Wheatley. Number 2 would be Langston Hughes. Number 3, I would say me.
Okay. Why did you say the other 2? What were your reasons for them?
Well, for Phillis Wheatley, going back in that time period, in that time frame, to be able to articulate herself the way that she did, the way that she expressed herself, the way that she was so vivid in what she was talking about, it always impressed me, because that was a time where we wasn't supposed to be able to read and write, and so her having that ability to write her thoughts down the way that she did and make them crystal clear, that always impressed me, especially when we were in school getting bombarded with stories like Anne Frank and things of that nature. I wanted to know more about Phillis Wheatley. I wanted to know more about her and her journey and what was going on. And as far as Langston Hughes, I got turned on to him by my pops. And just listening to his thought process and how he would put things down, it made me become an out-of-the-box thinker. So that's why I would put him there.
It's actually one of my favorites as well. So I agree with you.
Definitely. Top
want to welcome none other than Judah Priest to the Culture platform. Welcome.
Boards up.
Kaboom, boom. Guess who stepped in the room? What's good with y'all?
What's going on? So
ain't nada.
Tell me about y'all business relationship. What is it like working with E Supreme?
First and foremost, in today's climate, we do not use the word relationships anymore.
Oh
All
my
right,
God.
no Diddy,
Don't
no
come this
Diddy.
far, your mess.
Nah, you sent me the link. You told me to tap in. Nah, yo, let's keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is by design when you meet people. You know what I'm saying? Everything is designed, but it's the correct timing for which you meet that people, those people. So just to give you the insight to the growth of our brotherhood, because that's exactly what it is. We brothers that had the same common interest in music. Um, he came in the guitar center one day while I was working. Yes, I got a 9 to 5 job because I'm a smart artist and whatnot. I don't depend on the rap game for all y'all this in the background. Um, you know what I mean? And we was just building and building, and one thing, conversation led to another. I heard about him. He heard about me already. We actually played on the same couple mixtapes, worked with the same producers. You know what I mean? We just never met in person until that moment. And I remember told him, I'm like, yo, stay in tune with me, stay in tune with me. And this while I was still building up the label. And the offsets of 144, the transition because we all family. And it's funny because like even when we took this trip to Chicago where I got this hat, that's why I got it on. It's not my NBA team. But I was like, yo, I always ask him, I say like, yo, did I keep my word? And he's like, yeah, you
Definitely.
kept your word. You know what I'm saying? But it's just one of them things that just it happened out of nowhere, but it happened organically. And over the course of a couple months, we just had the privilege of building. Like I said, like this is a platform that I'm familiar with because everybody has family. So, everybody on here knows my thought process as far as the build. We can't just we can just do music, but then it really doesn't translate to anything. So that's my new word for the year, translate. Um, but with that being said, it's just like we build and build. I will honestly have to admit, with my supreme intellect, you like how I did that? But my supreme intellect on the music aspect, because I know a lot of stuff, probably more than others. He challenges me. He challenges me. Not just the intellectual of knowing artists, knowing the history. Which if we go back a couple segments ago, when I was on the platform, I think that's one of the things that we spoke about. Actually knowing the what I'm saying, the culture which everybody wants to be in. So the fact that he knew that, and I didn't even have to tell him that, made it even better. Even with me being a vet in the game. Ooh. Oh, okay, there I go.
Oh,
Yeah, he pushes me to push my pen. You know what I mean? So, iron sharpens iron. You know what I mean? And when we build to destroy to rebuild again too. Mathematics 101. You know what I mean? We keep each other right there. You know what I mean? And me, I don't ever think that an artist who shares their heart, you know what I mean, is above anybody. So if I gotta just put that in retrospect, you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm just gonna be above him, I'm taller. So you know what I mean? But he challenges me. And it's a welcome challenge. You know what I mean?
so same question to you, Supreme. How was it like working with Judah Priest?
Listen, it's actually one of the best things as far as musically in my career that I could say. It's one of the best moments, like just meeting somebody that is actually already there in the same thought process, same space, know a little bit more, like the guidance, like you said, the brotherhood, just building. I love the fact that he took me from, because I've always been on my own as a solo artist, but what he introduced me to is something that is more valuable to me than anything, and that's family. Like when you come to 144, when you were 144, it's family. And that's the main thing. And like I said, I was already familiar with his work. I just thought I would never get a chance to meet him. You know what I mean? But when I met him, it was like, wow. It was like, hold up, like, is this real? Like, it was a surreal moment. And now that I'm
Nah,
actually
you was that. You was like, oh wow. You was like, oh wow. He got a job.
But nah, like, Judah is definitely my favorite person to work with. And I've worked with a lot of artists, but Judah is my favorite that I've worked with thus far. And I hope that we can continue to grow and build and just keep building on this foundation. I'm not going to say relationship foundation.
No Diddy, huh?
No Diddy.
No Diddy.
Welcome back.
And
Knowledge.
now,
You had a question for them?
peace to the God.
Thanks, God. He said that shit because you was here. You know what I'm saying? If you wasn't here, he would have said something else. So I want you to know respectfully, he said that out of respect of you actually being here. Okay? Understand?
Nah, you know, I mean it from the heart. I mean that from the heart.
I don't mean it from the heart. You understand? That's my brother. I don't mean it from the heart. He don't mean it from the heart with me. I don't mean it from the heart from him. You know,
Yo, friend, don't fall into his nonsense. He just mad because you know me. I don't answer his phone calls no more.
that's it. We had to get that out of the way. Now we can get into this other shit right here. You see what I'm saying? We can get to back to you, Jazz. Okay, you know what I'm saying? We just had to have the moment right there. When there was no 144,000, I was here. You understand what I'm saying? It was negative 144,000, and then we got from the negative to the zero to now we at 144,000 for real, strong.
Hey yo,
what
what I would say, what I would say on that, man. Never take me not answering my phone as anything else. I don't even pick up for my mom. You know what I mean? I'll be focused right now. Nah, yo, real talk. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the 144 administration. You know, they came out over the weekend, and we got the whiteboards and everything up, and they actually put down all the accomplishments over the last year on this whiteboard. Well, actually, two whiteboards. I mean, he was just sitting there. It was like, yo, this shit look like an NBA draft board right now with everything. You know what I mean? So that just shows. Now watch this. That just shows the work over the last year. You know what I'm saying? E and Twist Flavor, they in the studio with me since January. Every weekend. Every weekend. E Supreme and Twist Flavor is in the studio. And if you actually was to see this whiteboard from what they just did for their own personal projects, you know what I mean? From January to right now, you will be amazed. And you know, and then you add what they did on other projects, and stuff that they are part of, like they just work. And that's what I'll be telling people. Like, it's the consistency and the commitment and the dedication into your own personal goal. You know what I mean? To achieve, you know what I mean, that goal. Like, there has to be a level of commitment. So, you know, and when I pulled them to the side, you know what I mean, on what it was Saturday.
Definitely.
When it was on Saturday, I was just like, look at what all y'all accomplished. You know what I mean? I talked to Ian, I talked to Twist Flavor. You know, shout out to all the other 144 members. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to exclude them because they put work in too. But from January to this point that we on this call right now, E and Twist Flavor has been with me in studio every weekend, and I'm talking about we go from Thursday to Sunday. Just work.
Okay. So let me ask you this. And this is geared towards E Supreme. How do you feel like your writing has changed over the years? From the beginning all the way up until this point.
Okay, in the beginning I was whack. So I would say my writing definitely has drastically changed. It's elevated, and it only gets better because I'm dealing with a group of individuals that I'm sitting amongst as a team, and we can sit back and, you know, sometimes you might write something and they be like, yo, that's not it. You know, it's a challenge to make sure that you are, you know, bringing something to the table that can elevate everything, you know, and just constantly sitting and writing and writing and writing. I get better with my storytelling, my concepts. I'm better with my vocabulary. I mean, it's incredible. Like just working with the team that I got, it's incredible.
Hey
Really push
yo,
you to do
stop
better.
fronting. Stop fronting, yo. Let me tell you where he elevated at. He don't even cuss on records no more.
Nah, no cursing.
Oh
No
wow. Why is
cursing.
that?
I
Cause
mean,
I said so.
Not,
it was a thing.
you
It was like I came to the booth one day and Judah was like, listen, we not doing no curses in our rhymes. We ain't doing none of that. And I'm like, all right. And I'm like, we can't even say, you know, nigga. He's like, nah, we're not doing none of that. And I'm like, all right, let me go back to the drawing board. And it really made me better as an artist because now if I feel like if I hear somebody curse now in the rhyme, it's like cringe for me. Like I'm sitting back like, they could have used a better word to describe that, you know, or get their point across. So I love it.
Hey, yo, let me do this. I want to go back. I want to go back to being a fan. So I'm gonna click off real quick, man, because I want my brother to get all the shine. I just wanted to pop up and say, please, you know what I mean? But I want to go back to being a super fan. So I'm gonna click off this live right now, yo. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I love y'all. You already know what it is, man. It's your favorite rapper, Judah Priest, man. I'm out.
Shout out to Judah
You said
Priest
your
for
mom's
popping up.
favorite rapper. Your mom's favorite rapper. Okay. That's the bullies and the headless horsemen elements that I was talking about that you were
Okay.
around. So part of my
The savagery.
technical difficulty. Yeah, yes. And you had to take it. And you just had to
Right.
take it. You had to
No choice.
That's it. Okay. So yeah, I love that level of creativity. It adds a layer. It adds a layer that's distinguishable and transferable across all of the platforms. You don't have to have clean music. If your music is clean, you don't have to have a clean version. It's radio ready. It's movie ready. It's score ready. It's video game ready. So just thinking about these other elements that are there in regards to the multitude, that one thing that you created out of all of the things that you created can be used in so many levels. You know, they got TV shows, they got movies, they got video games. You see what I'm saying? They have all of these various aspects where one thing that you did could be featured in all these things, and they don't have to bleep anything. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And then you translate that into different languages, they don't have to bleep it over there. So it's a seamless transition in regards to what can be created from one space of the foundation right there. So
Definitely. And it saves me from doing extra work in the studio with doing edits if I have to do it. So I definitely appreciate that on that aspect. And one thing he taught me was like, listen, your record can still be hard without you using profanity. You don't have to be vulgar. You don't have to be any of that. You can still get your point across, and the record could still hit hard. And that's what we prove.
What advice would you give someone that was, you know, in your same shoes, trying to get to where you are now? What kind of advice would you give to them?
I would tell them don't stop what they're doing. If they really believe, first off, you got to believe in yourself and make things happen. Don't listen to outside influences that's trying to tell you can't do it. Don't let anybody put an age limit on what you're doing. If you really about what you're doing and you serious, it comes from the heart, then spill it out. Everybody's put here for a reason. And my reason just happened to be, to me, one of my reasons is this music, to get my point across through there. So I would tell somebody, just keep doing what you're doing, stay focused, do not let any negative or outside influences make you decide to not do what you're trying to do. A lot of times it's coming from people that don't even have the creativity or the mindset to do what you're doing.
So I want to ask this question, and this is a question we ask everybody that comes under culture, so I'm gonna ask you as well. You know, being that tomorrow is not promised, we could pass away at the blink of an eye.
Mm-hmm.
What would you want your legacy to be known for when you leave here?
It's something that the Honorable Minister Farrakhan said that always resonated with me, and that's to be a good brother. I want everybody to remember me as being a good brother. That's the one thing. You know, I try to live as righteous as I possibly can, do the right things, help as many people as I possibly can, help change lives in a positive way. And that's what I would like to be remembered for, just being a good brother. We don't have to be blood related.
Well, that's right. Knowledge, did you have anything to add on?
What do you want people to take away from your art? You know, that's your legacy as a whole. What do you want people to take away from your art? And, you know, you're still up performing, writing, whatever the case may be. What do you want them to take away from your performance? I know they might sound synonymous, but they're not always. You know, who you are in the studio, who you are on the pad might be something different than who you are on the stage. So these are aspects. What do you want them to take away from your art? Whether it's the written word, whether it's the spoken word, whether it's the, you know, the recording aspect, they hear that sonically, and then performance.
I would like them to take away from that positivity and growth, elevation. I want people to hear what I'm doing and be like, oh, you know, it's different from the last thing that he did. You know, and motivation. I want them to be inspired to do the same thing. Like, you have to constantly keep moving forward in whatever you're doing. And I want people to hear that, and I want that to transcend through my music. And another thing, I want it to be timeless. Like, whenever you play an E Supreme record, it doesn't matter if you playing it now or if you playing it 15, 25 years from now, it still hit the same way.
That's dope. So I'm gonna let you have this time to tell us where we can find all your music at.
Oh, right now, you can find my music. You can find some of my music on Spotify, Apple Music. You can also find my music on SoundCloud under E Supreme. You can also find it on Bandcamp from E Supreme. We got a lot of projects that's in the works. I have a project that I'm working on with Bo Fat Beats from Snow Goons, which will be released in Europe. So got a lot of stuff coming. We got the Lost Legacy project that's about to drop. Telling you can get all the access, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. You can find me again on SoundCloud, all the media outlets.
Any shout outs you want to give out to?
Definitely. I want to give a shout out to my 144 family. I want to give a big shout out to my brother Twist Flavor. Of course, Judah Priest just popped in. Want to shout out the Monarch Alliance, Cost Draven. I want to shout out my mother, of course. She'll kill me if I ain't say that. So I want to shout out my mother. I want to shout out my family, my sister, aunts, uncles, brothers, supporters, everybody that's alive, breathing. You know, everybody's having a good time living life, you know, and all the music will be on the website this weekend as well. But yeah, just keep doing you, stay positive, stay healthy, stay blessed. Shouting out everyone.
No, that's right. Well, it has been a pleasure sitting down and chopping it up with you. And y'all go follow this brother, go listen to his music, run those numbers up, people. I mean, because again, if we don't support our own, who will support us? So y'all know what to do. Knowledge, you know, it's been always a pleasure having you come up here, be on the fuck around with me. You got any shout outs you want to give out before we get out of here?
I'm gonna echo those sentiments. You know, support something for the culture. This is a dynamic platform with guests from all over the culture. You see what I'm saying? And you know, salute to Judah Priest, that's my brother. That's that's the family. Salute to the family. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
what y'all doing. I seen the vision from, way back and everything that came along with it. It's a lot of dues. It's a lot of, unspoken things to the public. Y'all need to come out with y'all movie. You see what I'm saying? Y'all need to come out with y'all
Okay.
movie and tell y'all story and cement y'all legacy because, folks don't know what they don't know. You see what I'm saying? So all of the sacrifice and everything that's worth it, man. So shout out to y'all and everything that's coming for y'all. That's really what I had to say as far as the whole thing. And you, especially E Supreme, with all of, everything that you come from and everything that you represent. Like there's still a bright future ahead of you and a resurgence of what this culture needs, the versatility. We're not a monolith. We got this walk this way, talk this way era. Okay, so
Right.
you're bringing back the era that sparked you. You're bringing back the era of intellect. You see what I'm saying? So hold fast to that. Hold fast to positivity. Hold fast to having fun. So all of those things that you went through, the circle's coming back around. So you're on the right side of history with it right now because you didn't fall victim to it. You see what I'm saying? You might have been seduced by it a little bit, but you ain't fall victim to it. So now in that space, you become victorious. So now continue to be victorious and set a new standard. So young people will be attracted to that the way we were attracted to, a Rakim rhyme or a KRS-One rhyme or something like that, Public Enemy rhyme, Queen Latifah rhyme back then, and have that filtration system begin to clean itself up to where we're no longer looking for those things like cursing don't matter on the record because we don't want to hear it. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? Degradation don't matter on the record because we don't want to hear it.
Or
So
vulgarity
now,
or anything of that
right,
nature.
right. So let's create a new normal and show our image of creativity and versatility. If they want that, they could go someplace else. But when you're talking about what's real and what really matters to the culture, because this is your way of life. You see what I'm saying? What you're
Right.
saying and what you're espousing is indicative of your way of life. Culture is your way of life. You see what I'm saying? So if you want life to perpetuate in a positive manner, you have to continuously feed positivity out there into the universe or seed it out there. You see what I'm saying? So you on the forefront with that and what y'all are building. You see what I'm saying? So peace and blessings to that and much respect.
Thank you, bro.
I want to give a shout out to, of course, Knowledge, my big bro. You, Supreme, you were a breath of fresh air to have on this evening. So thank you.
Thank you.
Also to Judah, thanks for popping up. Your mom's favorite rapper. Also, shout out to Twist Flavor in the comments and just the
Well,
whole 144. That is fam. We've had an abundance of y'all come on throughout the years through, Supreme Resurrector,
my God.
and like Knowledge that we support. Y'all are fam. So I don't know about any other platform besides Knowledge and mine. Y'all are fam to us. So
Thank you.
we support y'all fully and we love everything that y'all doing. And it's refreshing to see a group of brothers and sister, because there is a sister on 144.
Definitely.
Sisters. Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, sisters. So shout out to them as well. But it's refreshing to see, our people come together as one. You rarely see a big group like that and be unified and make great music and, do the things that y'all doing. So salute y'all and salute, Judah for bringing all y'all together and along everyone else. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
we would love to have you come back.
I would love to be back. It's an honor.
So, hey, y'all know where to catch us at every Monday night. Y'all can also catch me on Righteously Ratchet Wednesday night at 8 p.m. along with KB and Angela. So y'all tune in. We have a special guest. Wednesday night. That flyer will be coming out shortly. So y'all know what to do. Y'all know where to meet us at, and we'll see y'all next Monday. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.